Dylan here, and I am in the North Devon Coast National Landscape, tucked away in the hidden cove of Lee Bay. Now there is an incredible alien world here tucked right beneath our feet that the majority of people just never get to see. Right here, this rock pool is absolutely full of life, and today I'm going to show you some of the weird and wonderful species that live on Britain's rocky shores. Rock pools are surprisingly hostile environments, relying every few hours on the tide coming in to replenish the nutrients and oxygen that they've been using up. Sometimes animals can even be stranded in rock pools. Things like baby sharks and even octopus can be found in the rock pools on British shores, brought in by the tide and then cut off when it goes back out. So this little guy here is the edible crab, also known as the pasty crab because of this crimped edge it has here to its shell. Both of these names are very appropriate because, as you might imagine, this crab is very tasty. They do get quite a lot bigger than this, so this one is just a baby. Death is an important part of life here in the rock pools. Although it's sad to come across dead animals like the spider crab washed up, when darkness falls, all kinds of species like gobies and even other crabs will be down to scavenge on the carcass. This is the velvet swimming crab, also known as the devil crab, and it's one of the more intimidating species that you're likely to find here on the coast. It gets the name devil crab because if you look closely, it has bright red eyes. They're more distinctive on the adults, but you can still just about see it on the juveniles too. And if you're looking closely, it also has these beautiful blue shimmers on its claws. Now the reason it's called the velvet swimming crab is to do with its back legs, which if you look here, are flattened out to act as paddles to help it swim out in the ocean, and have this beautiful fringing on either side. You might expect a rock pool like this to be absolutely teeming with life, and it is, but right now you're not going to see any of it. All of those fish and crabs are tucked away under the rocks and in these crevices, hiding and waiting for nightfall. If we were to come back here after dark, it would be a very different story. Just below my feet we have a snake-lox anemone, one of the more common species of anemone you'll find here on Britain's rocky shores. So during the day they look absolutely beautiful. They've got this bright green coloration with the pink tips to the anemone's tentacles. And these guys are really interesting because unlike the beadlet anemone that you'll often see on the rocks looking like a blob of jelly, these guys very rarely retract their tentacles, so they look like this all the time. And it makes them a little bit more fragile because they can't survive drying out in the same way. But if I turn this UV torch onto the snake-lox anemone, you're going to see something you won't see during the day. They light up absolutely bright fluorescent green under UV light. This was just a small insight into all the wonderful creatures that you can find here along Britain's rocky shores. From starfish to sea anemones, there is so much to find out here. So next time you're out on the beach, why don't you have a little look for yourself and see what you can find?